Hello there, folks. My name is Jennifer Foster. I've been spending the last 40 years looking at how we as human beings actually work. Never mind the physical, how our bodies work, never mind the psychology, how our minds work. What I've been looking at is how we work beneath that of a level of energy and information. Now, you might say this is woohoo, you might say this is nonsense, but actually, I think science is showing a lot these days how everything in the end is an energy and an information. And I'm suggesting to you, if you can master the way you operate on a human level in your day to day life, you can choose how you experience your day to day. It's really simple, it's really easy actually. And I've designed some CPD accredited courses to show you how to do this. And the way I'm showing you how to do it is through your imagination. So often you only have to do it once and suddenly you can see, because once you can see, you can't unsee. Once I tell you what the color red is, you will see red. It's that simple. So to understand yourself and how you operate on an energy and information way, I've developed a sculpture to illustrate this really easily. So if you imagine this stick has information inside it that is who you are, and this consists here of your body, how you're physically made up, your talents, what you prefer, how you learn, what you experience, and this little bit here is your mind. So your I, the I of you, like I, is the information for that is stored in this stick. Now this stick is like an antennae, and it gathers up energy depending on where you focus. I'll give you a silly example. If I'm in this room and I decide to focus by looking under the table, like this, what's under the table? The information and the energy from that information will be different if I decide to keep doing this video. That's how simple and how obvious this is. So where you focus defines your experience in that moment. It doesn't necessarily change the moment, but it defines your experience of that moment. And once you start to understand how you can make your experience in each moment the most optimum for you and for others, you start to experience life from a very empowered and energized position. So I show you very quickly the general idea. So as I said, this is the stick. Where you focus with this stick defines the energy and information you pick up. So if you decide to focus on your who you are, which is basically inside yourself, so I'm focusing on my talent. My talent might be making videos, so I'm making videos, so I will have meaning and purpose, because if you use the information from within yourself in your reality, you will feel meaning and purpose, because you're giving yourself meaning and purpose, because this is what you're here for, because this is what you're carrying inside yourself. And the energy you get from that we call a feeling, and it is a certain frequency, which I'm not going to go into at the moment, but it is a certain frequency. The experience is quite calm and content. If, however, we decide to go and focus on the mind, this is a circle of the mind. Here it is. Here it is. So, and we want to go out and experience our reality from a mind perspective. It's often about success. It's very, do you win, do you lose? It's all about your role. It's about your status. It's about money. It's about your house. Basically, it's about what the outside social norm thinks of you and how successful you are in that. Nothing wrong with this, but it's a different frequency. The energy you get is a different frequency, and the information you get is a different frequency. The emotion tends to be very intense, quite loud, kind of a high or a panic, and the information is relative because it depends on what other people think. The play I've written and perform in the CPD accredited course goes through all this in a really intuitive way in 25 minutes. So the mind energy, where if we decide to focus our eye through our mind, we start to go outside and define our experience in this moment from that perspective. There's one other way we can focus actually and get energy and information, and that's if we go up here, away from our stick self, up here into the spirit. And this is where people go up if they're meditating, if they're praying sometimes, etc. I'm going to do another video about that in a minute, but that's another way you get energy and information. And sometimes if you can stay grounded in your stick self, you can bring that energy and information down. But normally people just go up. They go up. And if people just go up and stay here, they tend to observe stuff and are, by definition, disconnected from the real world because they've left their stick self. And that has consequences, which I'm going to talk about in another video. So, to summarize, 3 ways you focus, 3 ways you can experience the moment, okay? Either through who you are, which is the information that you're carrying now. How does that fit into the world? The energy you will get from that will be okay or not okay, depending on how you are. That's that energy information. By using our focus, we move ourselves into our mind. Our mind picks up outside stuff, different energy, different information, and we can use that to motivate ourselves to get through the day, or we can go up here and meditate. All right, and your imagination is the conduit through which your brain measures and experiences what's happening in the world around you. It sounds complicated. It isn't really. The best way to learn this, I personally think, is to come along and see a play. If you can't do that, I've got a free online course which you can join, which is the play. I've split it up into 4 parts, and you can watch that. And because you're watching it, and there's music, it's funny, it's surprising, you experience it, you kind of get the hang of it. Intuitively. And then once you have intuitively got the hang of it, there's books you can buy, there's other courses you can do. And if you are a young person or if you work with young people, I've set up another academy called the Get Sorted Academy. And what this does is put the learning of the focus as a first step. Then we see what your who you are is. Then we set you up with a mentor, see how you can put that into your daily life. And then we can hopefully maybe even find some employment for you by working with employers who are looking for focused, motivated, smart and keen young people who are prepared to put the effort in to understand about themselves so they can become their best asset. So if you're interested in learning more about that, please get in touch with me. Thank you very much.